You ever have one of those weeks where you think you've finally made peace with the silence, just to get blindsided by a wrecking ball in the shape of your own life? Yeah, that's about where I was. Right after the divorce. My apartment was quiet, but not the peaceful kind. More like standing in an empty gym at midnight, just echoes and the buzz of lights overhead. 15 years of electrical work, always hustling, always tired, but those evenings used to be loud in a good way. Now it was just me, four walls, and 1,000 things left unsaid. So, what do you do when pride won't let you? Admit you're lonely? You buy a problem with your name on it. For me, that was a beat-up cabin I found buried in a county auction listing. Silver Creek Lake, middle of nowhere, a roof caving in, porch falling off, and 5 acres that smelled like God just wrung out a rain cloud over pine needles. The ad called it uninhabitable, structurally sound, which is realtor speak for good luck. Buddy, didn't scare me. I bid, I won, and 2 weeks later, I'm standing in a gravel driveway, keys in hand, staring at the kind of place you don't show your mom. Thing is, it was mine. The first thing I'd had in years that nobody could walk out on, not without a fight. The deck leaned like it had seen one too many parties, siding faded to silver, but the water view was the kind you tell your grandkids about. Sun hits the lake just right, and for a minute you forget about everything busted. Did I cut corners? Hell no. I got permits, called in a structural engineer, hired a local architect, one of those flannel shirt, birch bark for breakfast types. Plan was to gut it, turn it into a sanctuary, maybe live there forever, maybe just on weekends, didn't matter. Summer was for prepping, paperwork, maybe a little dreaming. Best part, no HOA. Just me, the trees, and whatever critters hadn't moved out yet. Lakeview Hills was a mile down the road, cookie cutter. Homes, flower beds, mailbox clusters, Labrador on every porch. Didn't even cross my mind. Not until the day I found a plastic ribbon blocking my dock. Yellow and green, common access zone, Lakeview Hills, screaming at me in all caps. I just stood there, holding 2 bags of cement, staring at that ribbon like it was a snake. Yanked it off, tossed it in the trash, told myself it was a dumb mistake, overzealous neighbor, wrong boundary, whatever. Took a picture though. One thing divorce teaches you, keep receipts. Next visit, ribbon's gone. Everything looks normal, so I let it slide. Still, couldn't shake that feeling, like somebody was sniffing around, testing what they could get away with. So I did what I do best, kept busy. Solar rig for lights, checked the wiring, shored up the doors. Not sleeping there yet, wasn't ready to have squirrels as roommates, but I was making it mine. July, dusk rolling in, I see movement across the lake. 2 figures, just standing there, not fishing, not talking, just staring. I waved, nothing. They vanished into the woods. Probably kids, right? Hikers. Yeah, sure. Fast forward to September. Permits finally clear, supplies dropped at the yard, and I'm thinking, maybe things are finally swinging my way. I roll in, expecting to start demo on the old kitchen, but the second I hit the driveway, my stomach drops. No birds, no breeze, just the mechanical growl of heavy machinery. And then I see it. My cabin is gone. Not fixer-upper gone, flattened, bulldozed. Dumpster half full of my porch. A backhoe idling like it was waiting for applause. And there, giving orders in wedge sandals and a cream windbreaker, is a woman with sunglasses perched on her head, looking like she's judging a bake sale. You must be Mr. Hunt, she says, all teeth and PR voice. Karen Blight, president of Lakeview Hills Homeowners Association. I didn't care if she was the president of the United States. I wanted to know who gave her the right to bulldoze my damn cabin. She laughs it off, says their safety committee declared the place a hazard. I point out this land isn't even in her HOA. She shrugs, that's debatable. Shows me some garbage jurisdiction map and a report declaring my cabin derelict. Now, I know gaslighting when I see it. I called the cops right there. Sheriff comes, takes it all in, shuffles papers from both sides, sighs, says, county'll sort it out. Karen flashes a smug little smile. I stand there and watch the last scraps of my life get shoveled away like yard waste. As I'm leaving, I spot a plastic sign half buried at the tree lean. Future site, Lakeview Community Park. I don't even touch it. That night, under a tarp in my truck, I swear I can still smell my old cabin, and I make 2 decisions. I'm not leaving, and I'm getting a lawyer. Julia Mason's the kind of attorney you want on your side. Office smells like stress and printer ink, desk a mess. When I tell her the story, she just says, Jesus. She digs into the records, and things get real weird, real fast. You're not the owner, she says. County says Brandon K. Blight, Karen's nephew, bought the land last month and donated it to the HOA. Whole transfer forged, thin as tissue, but just legal enough to bulldoze me out before the truth caught up. Julia's jaw turns to granite. We're talking fraud, forged deeds, criminal trespass, the works. She finds an HOA newsletter bragging about their generous donation, celebrating my eviction as progress. It's so cocky it's almost funny, if it wasn't my life. The next few weeks turn into a circus. Letters from the HOA, fines for everything from visual standards to abandoned infrastructure, the trash from the house they just demolished. Then comes vandalism. One night, I hear something crack. Someone's busted my fence, spray-painted cell in red. Trail cam catches a Lakeview Hills security SUV sneaking off. Julia files more reports, stacks up the case. Karen cranks up the heat online, crowing about community beautification. The county summons me for a nuisance hearing. Karen's playing the long game, betting on paperwork to wear me down. But I'm stubborn. I sleep in my truck, wire up lights by a drone. Every night I hear the pines shift. I wonder if it's raccoons or something uglier. Then, finally, a break. Paul Lansing, the demolition contractor, agrees to testify. He brings emails showing Karen herself rushed the job, used her nephew's fake paperwork, everything. Next, a bombshell, an anonymous tip from Paul Drake, a former board member. He meets us, slides across a folder with emails and draft maps proving Karen planned the land grab months ahead, even coached Brandon how to file the donation. Julia's got everything she needs. We go public. Abigail Scott, a local reporter, runs the story. HOA's social media explodes. The sheriff's office opens a criminal investigation. Karen freaks out, tries to spin it, but Brandon cracks under pressure, admits everything in writing. Says Karen told him to sign the deed. Didn't even know what he was doing. Day of court, the room's packed. Judge doesn't have time for Karen's nonsense. Julia lays out the facts, permits, deeds. Everything official. Karen's lawyers bluster, but then Paul Lansing, Paul Drake, and Brandon all testify, each one a nail in the coffin. Judge rules in my favor, hits the HOA for damages, legal fees, pain and suffering, over $800,000. Karen's referred for prosecution. I catch her in the hallway, can't meet my eyes. Funny how the mighty shrink when the spotlight's on them. Back at Julia's office, we toast with awful champagne. Other homeowners call, looks like I started something. A year later, my new cabin stands twice as strong. Full cedar frame, reinforced walls, windows that could stop a tornado, and a sign at the edge of my land, carved deep. Private property, not HOA jurisdiction, not yours. Karen got 20 years, no parole. HOA fell apart. Mailboxes still stand, but no one dares enforce anything. Brandon sent me a letter, said he's studying environmental law, trying to make amends. I let the letter sit on the mantle. Maybe people can change. Maybe not. Last week, a neighbor's kid came by, his uncle's fighting a new HOA. I hand him Julia's card and say, tell your uncle not to blink. So, tell me who's right here, the lone holdout, or the community chasing progress? Drop your thoughts below, share your stories, and don't forget to smash that like button if you've ever stood your ground against the odds. Let's hear what justice means to you.